Hello friends, family and other creatures of the scene. Welcome to a best of 5 between Shin and Classic. Now, Shin is a very interesting player because Shin does this little thing that bears also do. And squirrels. And I think bumblebees and hedgehogs. He hibernates. Okay, Shin is a hibernator. Now, he doesn't go to bed for a long time. You know, he stuffs himself before going into like a 3-month sleep. No, he just practices a crap ton of StarCraft, becomes really good for 1 or 2 seasons, and then he falls off a freaking cliff. Right now we're in the pre-hibernation season, and as of this moment, Shin is actually one of the better Zergs worldwide. He's probably top 4, top 5. I want to say Solar, Serral, Solar, Raynor. Then maybe we get Shin, Rogue somewhere as well. So top 4, top 5 player for sure. Big fan of his. He's been showing some aggressive gameplay in the new patch as well. Lots of all-ins, but also some attempts into macro. Classic, he doesn't really hibernate, at least not that scientists are aware of. It's difficult to track him down. There's only one of them. It hasn't procreated yet, as far as we know. So it's difficult to see what he does exactly at all times. What we do know is that he loves rushing out Storm. Classic has perfected the way of playing world's most boring StarCraft 2 game. Okay, he's actually figured it out. There are very little people that are as good as him at being completely unentertaining. Because he'll throw down a Templar Archives freaking 5.5 minutes into the game, then camp behind 25 cannons and storm. Is he gonna take a fort base? That actually would be really cool. I haven't seen that before, taking this as your fort. It would be an epic move, but not actually what he's doing, apparently. A couple of creeps coming out over here, or creep tumors, we should say. As this Oracle is moving in further forward, wanting to get some kills on the drones. One Oracle went down, of course. So far, 2 drones versus an Oracle is a bad trade for Classic, who's opting to go for Forge and Twilight. 4 gases total as well. Oh, what the hell is this? This is not what we're used to out of Classic. Like I said, Classic loves getting this type of fast Templar Archives and then taking it from there, but it's not what he's doing at all. I think this is going to be a proxy gateway, and I do not think that Shin is going to be scouting this. We're on 50 drones. Haven't started a lair quite yet, and a decent amount, 5 adepts, are being sent across the map. Shin doesn't have the info on this, doesn't have the read, but has 12 links at home. 12 links plus 3 to 4 queens to deal with 5 adepts, I think should be good enough. Behind this, we're actually going for a 5, 6, 7 gate, I think is what it's going to be. I'm surprised to see the gateway on the far right. I think eventually we're going to need some pylon over here so we can attack this base a little bit more accurately. But for now, this seems to be okay. Okay, 5 more gates on the way. 6 more gates on the way. So it's going to be an 8-gate blink plus 1 attack. What's really important right now for Shin is that he doesn't overdrone. And as I say that, he goes up to 71. Oh my god. He's going up to 76 drones. Takes extra gases. Now, I don't want to say that he's toast, but he's definitely building a lot of drones. So what we need from here on out is pretty much pure Ling. Fast Hydralisk then as well. And then praying that life is going to be okay. And honestly, it's hard to imagine life being okay. Overlord will try to get him out of the supply block that he finds himself in, as he has 2 more Overlords on the way. Get more Stalker weapons on the bottom right, I can only imagine. Overlord didn't spot anything, look at that. Shin thinks that he's safe, but he couldn't be further from safety. Ooh, this Oracle doesn't have enough. Does it have enough? Yes, some energy. I mean, this is going to be an okay trade for Classic. Trading links against adepts. Using some of your energy is going to be just fine. Stalker's now moving in as well. 16 more links on the way. The response out of Shin is going to be a Spire, which is probably the worst thing you can do against heavy Stalker pressures. Plus 2 starts behind this as well. Fort base not down quite yet, as the links are coming from the back. No Oracles are nearby. Pylon in a world of trouble. Can he target it down? Yes, he can. That means the end of at least these Warpins. Doesn't necessarily mean the end of the entire attack, though. We still have the Stalkers moving in forward. It's gonna get the kill here on the 4th. Links running across the map. About 2k resources in the bank. Shows you what could have been, you know? Imagine all the people. Now imagine if Shin had decided to go for a more standard response, he could have invested some of that cash in defensive units and would have been just fine, right? He would have absolutely been fine here, but he wanted to save it up to go for mass Muta. I think it's going to be Ling Muta into Hydralisk eventually. And we're going to get the +1 attack. He's going to go for 12, 13, 14 Mutas with the +1. Has a bunch of cash in the bank for double expansion as well. Doesn't actually have the Larva or the Overlords available right now to get out everything that he wants. Templar Archive comes down. This Stalker count is phenomenal. The Lings are trying to run in. This is not going to work. It's a cute move, but mainly beneficial for the Protoss player here. Lings are going to start moving back. 5 more Mutas on the way. It's going to bring the total up to 13-ish. Storm starts. Cannon goes down at the 3rd. Okay, let's see what these Mutas can actually do, because he's saving a lot of them up. We still have 1 Oracle, but it's mainly being active defensively as Stalkers are now moving out. 14 more Mutas on the way. This is going to be mass Muta, isn't it? 23 Mutas and +1 halfway done. Left side base is under heavy fire. Could get saved potentially by the Lings. Right side is dead. Overlord's going to fall as well. And here come the Mutas. Don't forget, Classic has a better worker count right now. Classic, however... Oh, well, it's also going to kill this base. Transfuses weren't available. Barely weren't available. Classic might feel like he's a bit more all-in than he really is, though. There's going to be 27 Mutas out. Do we have a recall available? There's no recall available. That means that this army, if it gets caught, could potentially just die. There are a lot of Lings out on the map. Classic probably doesn't know how bad this looks for him if he ends up losing everything. Lings coming from both sides. Here we go. Still no nothing over here. No recall available. And that means that with all of these Mutas and with the Lings, every single Stalker is going to end up falling. Fort base is done. But the supply is heavily in favor of Shin right now. I don't know how he did it, but I guess saving up all of that cash for the surprise Mutas worked out relatively well. As now he's going to jump on top of the Templar. He's going to get a couple of them, I think. Needs to be careful to not lose all of his Mutas. The Archons are still standing in the storm. Lings don't want to go in. Never interrupt your opponent while they're storming themselves, is what Shin was thinking there. As the Mutas now coming forward. Lings with this as well. No Banelings necessary. As a pure 64 drone. Muta Ling with the +1 on the melee, with the +1 on the Mutalisk, is going to be good enough here to take out Classic in game number 1. A very surprising victory in my mind, at least the way that it went, as GG gets called and Shin wins game number 1. Game number 2 has Classic with a quick scout forcing out the spawning pool first out of Shin into still a low ground hatchery. So a little bit of a weird start here. Gets the extractor as well in the main base behind all of this. Against this type of pool first, I always wonder if you want to go core before Nexus or not. You see Classic was thinking about it too. It's like, do I need the cybernetics score fast here or do I not? I think you don't, personally. Even if there's like 4 Lings or 6 Lings coming out, maybe you want to respond to that. But I think it's just a single set of Lings. You don't really have to do anything. As we're playing on the Magnetic North, one of the Revive StarCraft League exclusive maps. This is not a map that usually gets played in any other tournament. I haven't seen it yet, at least. Saw Hero play Maru on it, but that's about it. Got this setup going here as well. Got a second pylon on the way. And the first queen is about to pop out. And the Lings are gonna go across. So something people do frequently in this type of situation is that they'll full wall this area, like a cybernetics core or a gateway. Sometimes you even see a Stargate in the wall. He's gonna wall it, full wall it here with a gateway. It's going to delay his Stargate by a little bit. Sometimes you'll still throw it in the wall just in case, but I don't think it's gonna be necessary here. Stargate gets thrown down in the main base. Adept, into Warp Gate. One of the more standard openers here, coming out of our good friend Classic. He's gonna be moving across the map. No third base has started quite yet for Shin, but he's gonna hopefully do that shortly. Don't want to delay that too much. I was googling animals that were hibernating after that first game, and apparently the groundhog also hibernates. Irene, my wife, once told me that I think it is in Canada where they did it. You have like Groundhog Day, where a groundhog comes out of the ground, I think. I don't know where this guy comes from. Do they dig holes? I don't even know. But they come out, and if there is I think if it's a shadow or something like this, or if he scares himself because there's the sun, he'll go back inside, and then there will be 6 more weeks of winter. I think if he sees his shadow. And if he doesn't, then winter has officially ended. Seems like a terrible concept. Having winter depend on the outcome of like a single groundhog coming out. So I'm not sure when Groundhog Day gets decided, but I think it's like a specific day, and then they're just waiting for a ground. Maybe they bring their own groundhog, and then they see if it scares easily, or they wake him up. I don't actually know what the process is, but I assume they kind of have it streamlined at this point after, a couple of 100 years. Yeah, this Oracle is doing better than the previous game. I mean, it got 0 kills, but it also didn't die. And in the previous game, it died after getting a single kill. So I think this has overall been a positive day for us on Classic side of things. It's going to follow us up with the Twilight Council, Fast 4 gas, 2 extra gateways on the way. So we have a lot of options available to us right now. These options include, but are not exclusive to, fast blink attacks, quick Templar archives. Ooh, he's gonna actually make the jump. He's gonna get 3-4 kills as a result. Could have probably gotten a 4th there. A little bit mismicro. It's gonna go for glaives. It's one of the last things I would have expected out of Classic. Absolutely not what I had expected here. I personally would have expected maybe... yeah, honestly anything else. Except charge. I didn't... so just blink. I really thought it was gonna be fast blink. It's gonna be glaives here instead. We already have 4 adepts out. Now, this is the really cool thing about what Classic did in the previous game, is he did the 5 adept warp in, right? So, if you see 4 adepts at home right now as Shin, this is not necessarily a big warning sign. It's like, hey, you need to do something. If you see the next 4 adepts, though, it is going to be a bit more of a warning. Lynx are trying to scout, but are not quite getting their information. You have 2 groups of adepts that are just trying to deny, and there's no secondary tech structure. So I think theoretically, this is actually a free win here for Classic. Classic is going to be moving out with 14 adepts. It's going to be hitting 5 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Bailing Nest just now goes down. So the standard timing for a Bailing Nest or Roach Warren is 4 minutes and 30 seconds if you're fighting double Oracle. But that hasn't happened. There is no full wall possibility due to the creep tumor blocking all of that. These adepts can just shade in, or they can cancel, and a couple of stasis wards are coming in right now. This is going to be very tough to break here for Shin, as the adepts are absolutely unleashed. The drones are being taken out one by one by one, as the adepts now shade behind the natural as well. 12 drones being blasted here so far, and all links going down as well. GG gets called as Classic wins game number 2 within 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And in game number 3 here on Evil Heart, we have Shin once more playing a different type of early game than we're used to. Previous game was the pool first. This time it's going to be a proxy hatch on the gold. So usually when you proxy hatch, there is an aggressive intention. I don't know what the hell the intention is here. So this is a 8... is it? Can I count? Yes, it's an 8-patch gold base, which are insanely broken in favor of Zerg if you manage to hold it. So there's a couple of things that can happen here, right? From Classic's perspective, he thinks this is probably a hatch first, and he needs to go core before Nexus right now. Okay? Oh! Woohoo! He still did. That is a big deal, because this pretty... oh. No, it's a mistake. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Cancel it. Get out of here, son. No, he needs to get out. No. Oh, no, this is not good. Okay, so this is actually really cool. So he started the core before Nexus, then went with the Zealot because he was afraid of some type of hatch, like proxy hatch shenanigans. Then he realized his opponent took a base over here. And I was like, okay, maybe I can still do something with the Zealot because he's already invested in the core. Then he used the Chrono on a Zealot. However, he also forgot to build a second pylon in time, so he actually ended up getting supply block. His first adept, as a result, is going to be delayed, and there's all of a sudden a lot of pressure on the Zealot to deal serious damage. This Zealot needs to kill, I think, 2 drones. 2 drones is the minimum you want to kill, because this is a serious investment. You delay your gas, you cut, I think, 2 workers here, randomly, and you need to get some serious damage in. So far, he's killed 2 sets of links. Hey, it's not actually that bad. It's an okay outcome. It also allows this adept to potentially do something here. Can we get a spore? No, we don't get a spore. This probe is still gonna die. Twilight Council is the follow-up. I had not expected that. Roach Warren coming out of Shin. So Shin is not actually going into a macro style from here on out. Has the 2 links in his opponent's main base. Sees that there's a Twilight Council, which is going to be good news for his Roach attack. I actually think that Shin is gonna be in a fantastic spot here. He's also continuing to build more and more links. This is one of these games where neither player will ever be capable of recreating it, right? Like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime type of game. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It really, like, the builds don't make a lot of sense matched up against one another. There's going to be 0 stalkers, which means that roaches are going to be strong. We're working off of a single gas. Did he build the roaches in the main? No, he's building all the roaches over here on the proxy hatch. And then we're going to see links coming out of the main. Behind this, we get a Dark Shrine. I think Classic knows that something weird is happening. So he gets the Dark Shrine, and this is what I like to call an insurance-y Dark Shrine. This is an insurance-y policy. You pay a little bit of cash, and then eventually you can hold anything that comes from hatchery tech. If your opponent goes up the lair, they can get an Overseer, but anything on hatchery tech, as long as you can survive until your Dark Shrine finishes, you'll win the game. So there's a huge timer here on this push right now. 41 seconds, that timer will... the bus will explode, so to say. And Classic most likely will hold, unless he's already taking too much damage at that point. So Adept, now moving out, this is actually a pretty big deal, because he's completely missing the big picture here. The big picture being that you're about to be attacked. There's no full wall at the moment. Roach plus Ravagers moving in. This pylon is going to be unpowered. Dark Shrine finishing up in about 15 seconds from now. This gate, it should have been a core, built much faster, of course, is going to get cleared. No backup pylons for these first 2 gateways. As the Adepts now come back in, Glaives finishing up in about a second is going to be extremely helpful here against Link. Dark Shrine finishes up, so we can get a double DT warp in, which is exactly what we get. 35 workers to 17. So that means we can lose 18 workers and still be fine. There's no detection behind this either. Natural base, it almost gets the full block here with the pylon, but once again Shin with a quick enough response. As these pylons are just going to get cleared, I think. 23 workers have gone down already. Probes still running away. DTs are eventually going to clean this up. The problem that I have with all of this... DT in the wall, DT in the wall, DT in the wall. No, we're not getting it. Okay, we're now getting a DT in the wall. The problem I have with this is that I think Shin can kill 2, 3, 4 extra workers here. And at that point, it's going to be 21 workers to 7 or so. Like, this dude is not even on hold position, which is actually a pretty big deal. You don't have enough speed either to always catch everything here. One more probe is going to go down. Every single probe that falls is a significant percentage portion of the income that Classic has right now. He cannot even build 2 workers at the same time. And I think he's honestly pretty dead. 6 workers to 25. We see Shin already having spores in every single base. I'd love to see just 2-3 roaches per base as well, or getting an extra queen, just for anti-DT safety, pretty much. Like, with links and a queen, maybe something bad can happen, but if you have like 2 roaches there, there's no way that even like an Archon Morph plus 1 DT cannot kill you, because that is the only thing I'd be worried about. So building these roaches, absolutely correct. Going into lair tech, absolutely correct. I mean, you have the full picture here, right? You see your opponent is on 10 probes. It's lovely to get even further ahead economically, because you cannot kill your opponent without an Overseer. However, it's not necessary. Like, the lowest risk W is going to be teching into lair, getting roach speed, getting an Overseer, going across the map and winning the game. In my mind, that is going to be the path forward here for Shin. Classic, what does he want to do? He needs to deal serious damage. So we're most likely looking at like some type of attack here with DTs, but I'm just not feeling it. Like, it makes sense that he tried to do it. And the only thing you can do is warp in more DTs, so you know that the Overseer is going to be a complete game ender. We have 3 roaches here defensively, which is enough against 2 DTs if you micro them a little bit. You have more roaches coming up here. We have an Overseer on the way in the main base. Yeah, roach speed, Overseer. 37, 38, 40 workers. You go for a full-on roach attack. It's going to be one of the simpler W's that I think Shin has seen in his life. A beautiful little build here. It's one of these things where Classic made a lot of errors on defending, in the scouting as well. And if Shin were to ever play this build again, I'm pretty sure that Classic would just win. However, Shin is never going to play this build again. That's just how it is. And if he will, it's going to be 2 years from now when Classic will have forgotten about its existence. Like, that is the beauty of these builds, and that's the beauty of StarCraft as well, in my mind. Like, old strategies or strategies that have been played once or twice, you can bring them back a year and a half from now, and they might just work another time, because your opponents do not remember the correct response anymore. So this DT is going to get caught here by the Overseer. Well, Surround's actually not perfect, but it's going to be good enough. You have an Overseer over here as well. I mean, this is a single Arca and 3 Stalkers, a Sentry, a Zealot and a Battery. He's going to struggle moving out of his wall. If he loses this Cybernetics core, he's dead. If he doesn't lose the Cybernetics core, he's also dead. He's just dead. Reality of things here. 16 army supply to 40. Cloudry Constitution has finished up right now. Stalkers are quite decent against Roaches, but Stalkers suck against Lynx. So you kind of want to mix in both. In order to deal with the Archon, you need a decent Roach count. Clearing these buildings is really nice with the Ravagers, obviously. So we're seeing a bit of that. Huge set of force fields, by the way. Honestly, for how terrible Classic's position is, he's doing a fantastic job at pretending to stay alive, at least. You know, he's artificially being kept alive now by his own micro, which has actually been phenomenal. We get one recharge here as well. I mean, he's doing a great job. Spire goes up behind this. It is still 49 workers to 28. There is a third base already on the way, and he's mixing in drones. This is usually not how you play. So Zerg usually does one or two things. They're either building units or they're getting drones. Because the way that Zerg works is, in order to maximize for a timing, you need to cut workers due to how the larva mechanic works, right? Other races, for example Protoss or Terran, they can continue building workers while they're pushing. So it is much simpler to do a non-committed pressure. For Zerg, it's a little bit harder, because either your pressure isn't very strong, or no strong follow-up, or you have a very weak economy. Like, you can't really mix 3 Roaches here, 2 drones there. It just doesn't work so well. It's better to first build drones, then Roaches to maximize economy. So a little bit of that mixing in there out of Shin is surprising to see. His blink goes down. I wonder if Classic believes that he can actually do anything. I think this is the worst part, is the hope. Is the actual belief that you might be capable of still winning. Like, Shin is playing super safe. Spore plus Spine in every single base to deal with a potential DT harass. We have a Stargate coming up right now. I cannot believe that Classic. He must understand that something is happening. He just doesn't know what it is. And I mean, he's going to get absolutely blasted here. It's going to be the second game that will be won with Mutas. The first game was because of the Mutas. I think this game will be... I mean, it's won already. Like, this could be Lurkers. You could be teching into Ultras. I'm pretty sure you could rush into Brood Lords and kill Classic with Brutes as well. Like, it's just... Shin is just so far ahead, it's difficult to imagine a world in which he doesn't win. Second Stargate now on the way. Hallucination Scout did spot the Spire, but it's too late. Couple workers already going down. 6, 7, maybe 8. More links being built here as well. I mean, Classic still only on 2 bases, which is a serious issue if you're going to be playing against 8 gas Mutalisk. Doubling the army supply right now as well. Shin is... he's relaxing. In Classic, he's wasting time. He absolutely is. He must know. He's seen this, right? He scouted this. He knows he's dead. There is no way he looks at this situation and thinks to himself, you know what, I believe I can do it. 34 workers total. Even if we were to magically give him like 9 Phoenixes right now, he'd still be dead. Just Eco. Eco is just not good enough. He can never kill the ground force that consists of a lot of links. I don't think so, at least. Here comes Shin for the second attack of the game, or the second major attack of the game. And this should honestly just be it. Like, whenever they're using Mutas as a fighting unit, you know you're cooked. And I think Classic has a decent idea about, you know, him being cooked. The implications of him being cooked. Couple of owls raining down from the sky will connect with the probes as... yeah, I mean... I don't know why we're still in this game, if I'm being real honest. I am as shocked as you guys are that Classic is staying in. GG gets called. Shin puts himself on match point. And that brings us to Winter Madness. One of my favorite maps due to this area. The Overlord cannot possibly be in time to scout for the cannon rush, which I think is a fantastic feature. This is the type of stuff that accidentally slips in. You know, the map maker doesn't realize, but this Overlord, the moment it sees the cannon rush, it's already, like, the cannon rush is already cooking, you know? It's freaking over, man. There's nothing you can do anymore. I freaking love that type of stuff, and I'm glad Mr. Mapmaker decided to leave it in, or Madam Mapmaker, of course, decided to leave it in. Okay, Nexus first here, or Nexus before core coming out of Classic. Shin with a more standard opener as well here on this beautiful snowy map. It's one of the few maps that has some effects. I personally hate playing on maps with this type of effect. Like the freaking, I cannot stand seeing snow on my screen the entire time. But when you're casting, just watching a game, it does feel kind of nice. I wish we had Christmas themed maps, you know? Why don't we have that? You know, there's Santa somewhere hiding. You know, they drop packages like around the map. You can pick them up and you bring them home, but only if you've been a good boy. Terran players never get packages. You know, you try to click it with your SUV, it doesn't work. Yeah, you've been a naughty boy. You get played on a naughty list. They take away minerals from you to give to the other player. The way it should be. God, I hate Terrans. I truly do. Strongly dislike him. Okay, you get him move further forward. With his first adapt. Oh, he's trying to block this thing. Is he gonna pylon block it? Oh, is that gonna work? It is gonna work. No! Dude, that was a crazy interaction there. Knight split as well out of Shin, who is going to lose one link. And the rest of the links are kind of stuck in between. I don't say a rock and a hard place, but just between, just in a weird spot. Is this Adept's gonna make it in? He's gonna try to get a kill here on the drone. Shades into the main rather than shading out. Surprising, maybe so. He's gonna get another kill here. No, missed it. Actually misclicked. So gets a single kill on a link, single kill on a drone, and a lot of mining time lost, as well as an Evo chamber forced. I think this has been a fantastic early game here for Classic. He should finish this as well. He won't. He didn't want to risk it. I think he could have risked it. I think he could have risked it. As Metabolic Boost completes right now. We have a Ling here in the main base. Classic with an Oracle Chrono that is supply blocked, which is not ideal. That's just the way it is sometimes. Things will never be the same. Oh yeah, yeah. That's just the way it is. Okay, third base. Not on the way yet. Spore finishes up in the main. Supply block for Shin as well. Lots of supply blocks so far this game. Both players struggling at least a little bit. So we're going up to 5 queens right now. It's a beautiful number of queens. My favorite number. Not a fan of the monarchy, but queens, hell yeah. Build more of those bad boys. Here comes a double flyby. See if we can get anything. Ooh. Get 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. 5 kills here. 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. The earlier you get the kills, the more impactful they are. These kills were pretty early. And they're pretty impactful as a result. Evo chamber. I think this is the 3rd time we've seen an Evo chamber rush. And I think this is also one of the issues that Classic has. Almost all of his builds are, I don't want to say beatable, but when I say beatable, I mean like you can get a major advantage against it by opening up with melee. So melee is very weak, or very weak, is weaker against 2 build orders, and that is double Stargate Tempest Rush, because your lair is extremely delayed. Look at this, no lair here. And also, melee is quite weak against Archon Drop. We saw melee lose against Glaive Adept earlier, but that is not necessary, because Glaive Adept can be defended with a properly timed Baneling Nest. So, like this, like theoretically, melee builds mainly lose to Tempest. Ooh! Oh, I thought there already was a stasis, but it was just the shadow of a stasis. Yes, these Adepts are not gonna die. We get 4 Adepts into the main base. This is pretty serious damage that is being dealt here. Like quite a bit of indirect damage, but also a decent amount of direct damage. Resource lost is even-ish. Now, one Oracle did go down. Ah, this is too late for... This is not... What is this? Is this going into carrier? So when I meant 2 Stargate Tempest Rush, I really meant like a rush out. So if you're... The thing with melee, quick melee before lair, is that your first 100 gas goes into this upgrade. So your lair finishes really late. Imagine double Stargate Tempest hitting right about now with 3 Tempest. You need to start your Spire still. That's what, like 71 seconds. And you need to build Corruptors. So you're like a minute and a half away, a little bit longer, from beating those Tempests. And if you only have 5 to 6 Queens, it probably just means that you're going to end up dying. Which is, yeah, non-optimal. Most of the time. It's going to be a carrier follow-up. This is one of the things that is really good if it doesn't get scouted, and is extremely bad if it does get scouted. So we'll see if Shin gets the info here. Yep, he's going to get the info. Sees Carrier 1, sees Carrier 2, sees Fleet Beacon. I mean, he knows all right now. So there's a couple of decent responses to this. Did he cancel Infestation Bit? Wow, he's going to go for it. That is actually a response I hadn't expected. So what you can do is you go into very high drone count. Like very, very high drone count. And then kind of take it from there. We've seen stuff like Queen Roach Corruptor as well in the past. Where... What the hell? Where you basically just get like 20 Corruptors or 15, 18 Corruptors to kill the carriers. And then Roach Queen Ling on the ground to deal with the rest. This particular thing I haven't seen. Because this is going to be Nidus, Hydra, Ling, Queen, plus an Infestation Pit. I don't know what the Infestation... Maybe still a hive for Viper behind it. But it feels like there's a lot of things going on, you know? This train is driving multiple tracks at the same time. And I do not know if this is such a smart idea. 2 more gates coming in. Storm is fairly late. So this basically just reverses, right? Storm and carrier timing. So usually Storm is first, then you go into air. But this time we're going to see, well, carrier first, and then we go into Storm afterwards. Nidus comes out. Queen count is at 11, which is a very serious queen count. Hydra count at 21. 36 links around as well. No upgrades for now on the range units, though. Something we should keep in mind. Kara's having an okay engagement. Oh, the Oracle goes down. Oh, this is actually not good at all. Tempests are being added in. Links enter the main base as well as the natural. This was not through a drop, just a walk-in. Ay, 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 ay. These links just walked and they barged in. And they said, hello. And at the same time, these Hydras are doing a similar thing, but at the front door. New Knight is coming in here as well. +1 is now finished up for the range units. And Shin with a beautiful little Nidus deck. I did not think it was going to work. I just didn't know. I've never seen this as a response, really. Queen, Ling, Hydra, Nidus. Hydra Nidus are really rare. But I guess it was mainly to transport the queens across the map. And I mean, that portion definitely worked out. 31 workers have gone down already. There's still 1 Tempest that's shooting. Eventually you might need a Spire against them. That's what we're seeing as well. Like drones are being added in. We have the Spire as well. Probably gonna go up to 8 gases. Yep, there we go. But the game is already over. 40 workers to 77. And Classic Story is going to end here right now. We have these Hydras once again popping out. GG gets called. Shin wins the series with a 3-1 score. Some aggressive games. Some beautiful gameplay. And honestly, a convincing victory here for Shin.